something minutes, 33, and LA is only 30. That doesn't sound right, does it? Yeah, but that's what made us know. I think there's a caveat there. The public
Not where I am. I don't know. You might try the other side.
Free of charge.
Well, I mean, I'm going to sleep. Maybe, because I know he just wants to. What's the difference between so yeah, can I just want to yeah, she gets him out of work. Hey, what's up?
Hello.
Come back with
Someone was saying there was an issue. Hold on, let me just move. Give me a little space and I can move forward. Yeah. I was like, yeah, anyway, so I'm like, let me just move for you. And it's just like coming through already. I'm like, I need to be able to move out so you can move in. Simple physics. Oh, that was something else. Seriously, one
He was trying to steal your job. He was like, instead of audio, we're going to do skill.
I think he was drilling all the parts.
Liquid. Good luck.
You are not lying.
You all failed. Here you go, Doug, we got you.
All my friends, family, all my family here.
Are you going to be here? Or is she going to be?
So, you want to be on this story? Should I just collapse it, please? I got it. Thanks, Chip.
All I'm doing is just trying to make sure Jay has everything he needs. We're all here for you, bud.
Strolling in.
Yeah, so last second, bud. We're here for you. Whatever we can do for you. All right.
Don't ask what your best we can do for you.
That's what Alex can do for Jay.
So much.
He's got a lot of guys.
Hey, I don't know.
It's a definite downgrade.
We're so sorry.
We're the team version of Nathan Howard.
Where's the sexy photographer?
You put us together, we're like a 6. 5.
Out of 20.
Like, give me a small snap of pose. Give me Pally.
I'm going to have to pixelate your video when I cut that one.
We should be age when we're really not put our bellies out. Just kind of
The Beijing bikini.
You need like a cardboard cutout. Too.
I should have a cardboard cutout of
They take him everywhere.
A fat head.
Yeah. It's someone everywhere.
Yes.
Can you bring it? I'll sit here and you wear it.
We should all just have Nathan masks. Yeah, no, exactly. All right, that's my.
His blast phone. Cancel. Who said cancel?
Cancel.
Sweet.
All right, let's go. We also got a lid too, so. Saul's on vacation. Yeah, we're getting double. and he gets sent to it. I was on the sector. I was on so I sent it to bed. He was just laughing.
Oh, no, I meant for context.
First thing I saw was on Obama trip, and you guys were, I guess I'm hearing pretty much too. I want to hear this. Hey, bro. Saw Blue, Cuts, yeah. He just looks so tired. Him and Karoline just crazy. Get the next the greatest hits. Every morning.
Still stacked up in there. We all had to take the same seat. Goes, hey pal, you're in my seat.
Or do you have to That's perfect. Yeah. We're in game of inches here. Yeah, that's good.
No, she gets, I think she's flying. And on Texas, get a sense of how soon she might check in. There are some things, yeah, well, no, it's just that there's some scenes in the next few days that we're in, so it's like, if I could get there before I go to That was nice. Yeah, limbo action there. Hey, stranger. How are you?
commute up to the phone.
This was one of the smoothest I've ever had. Yes.
I feel like there ought to be like
Right.
actually receipts versus everyone paying cash in the toll.
I do. I'm sad. No,
We all.
very bad. My ride or
Oh, my daughter's
She's got extended.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She's gonna retire at grade 27. It's pretty stressful.
So my friends, I just leave the orders and All right, we can start. His wife was also she got refued. Yes. Oh yeah. So, but he was like, just get your
Because right now we're just thinking about so it's making these 5 or 6 days. One acre corn can release 3,000 or 4,000 gallons of water a day. Give it the college roll, 20 minutes. Yeah, good
So I guess. I mean, I never used them. And but I was like, okay. Didn't get very good. I know.
No hiding point.
No.
And so, standing up. I guess, oh, control the lunch. I was like, nah, I gotta. Daily day.
Yeah, Olivia's coming. She's in the rug seat.
Oh, really?
She's in your seat. Oh, that's right. Well, I usually get fed over the others. It's like I knew she'd come in here.
I kept looking and I was like, hi. If I had seen you, I would have. Oh, I have that dress.
That's good.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Someone check with it?
David Horowitz, attorneys, go after.
Oh, we're so yeah, we so here we are. Here we are. It's so much fun. What's so fun? But it's exhausting, and your bank definitely feels it. I had a nice break on your show. I am not I was just like,
No, they finally figured out how to crank the AC.
yeah.
Part of it is keeping that door closed.
Oh, that's good.
Part of it is keeping that door closed by briefing.
Which actually is strong.
Accurate.
Boots or French?
Sure. Not
Is that it's going to be the 60s? Yeah. Trust me, as soon as it was dangled as a possibility, I was like, it would be like the Netherlands.
Yeah.
It's like, lovely, crisp 69. Overcast. You mean outdoors?
Well, that's good.
Break it. He's running it off as a business. Just like all of our dads.
That's right. That's right.
He's got the 2 courses. He's got
Afternoon tea.
Afternoon tea.
Philip from cricket. He's like, we get
Yeah. No, not really. Yeah. Yeah, but not just like this.
Yeah, right. That's different kind of No.
You're in the long
Drop my daughter at daycare. So we're going to walk there.
Right.
And then from there to Metro. Right over here. Today was that.
And then you need another shower.
$20.
It's not really all sandwiches. I can't make it really.
Just threw it on. Yes.
Also, if we hadn't have it's funny how you write and shoot around and get fired up and you can let someone else do it. Oh, yeah, you don't want to do it. Oh, I got it. I see what you did there. That's what I do to you. President Bush asked. Exactly. By who? You don't have to wear like arm bands.
Yep.
No, the judge is speaking now. So that case
So the next time I did it was a year ago. During maybe not.
So the issue with and he had his camera set to like 30 seconds. So I was like, the Vince was going on his part.
big industry.
But there's only
Feels a bit artificial.
I mean, people just wrap this. I really was with that to change his artificial intelligence, just not
Yeah, nice chair.
Oh, no. Should have scheduled it. This Friday. Years about migrating facial hair. So what's that part? Just taking it.
Oh, okay, that's fine. They can learn it, right? Can you do it back? So you've got okay. So maybe we can do it for maybe we'll send it about straight up. Okay, and when will it get to normal council? Oh, okay, so it'll be there. Okay, I okay, and it's going to cross fit. Okay, how far out of DC are you? Okay, great.
I think if we start chatting.
Thank you very much.
I think we'll go viral.
Yeah, that's good.
Check and see what's up.
Stuck on the door.
Judge is milking. I think we should. Yeah, me too. He's on my desk. Just sitting on my desk.
Are you feeling seasick? And I'm doing okay. It's like, you have to, when you look, when you're talking, you get your stuff. Like I'm worried, I'm going to move my head and
It matches his socks.
Come on.
this is okay.
does. I think so. Right now we're like, we're taking our time. Like, people are
Right,
just about to. So I'm hoping it's
figure out how to adjust
the girl is married.
Where the entire thing is
Can't imagine.
no, they won't.
I mean, it's good.
It's been a minute, right? All I know is then I was kind of, so like, want to be
Yeah. They're coming. They're coming.
Okay, they are adjourned.
Is that it, Ed?
They're adjourned. They've adjourned.
They've adjourned. Can we adjourn? We're adjourned? Everybody can leave.
That makes sense.
We got a second motion. Instead of I was to Alex so the walk camera was so close to me. I was in between them and I was like this the whole time. And then I moved out because it was like shooting good or something. Or was like hand on my back. Like and then I just ran out of here. I tried to move him out, but it's just oh yeah.
Very
Literally. One question I asked. Just like
Thanks, brother.
Can you check out when they're coming out too, Brendan? Yeah, thanks. Honestly, if they just know. Well, no, they're putting his passport in the pocket.
When you're on the test, you're like read the first and you can read First one.
Good deal.
Yeah, I don't know how to like not this last round. No, or even more the one I threw before that.
Do it now.
2 minutes until the briefing.
Hey Siri, set it.
Or is that yours? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You think?
No, I didn't say that. But I like to actually stop that. Go up.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. We have a special guest with us today who will speak momentarily. But first, I would like to begin with a message from the White House to the families of the victims in the brutal murder case in Idaho, who were sharing their heart-wrenching stories about their loved ones before the court today and addressing the evil killer who took 4 precious souls. We are so sorry for the grief and the pain you have experienced at the hands of such a vicious and evil killer. Our nation grieves with you, and we will never forget the precious souls who were lost in this horrific act of evil. If it were up to the president, he would have forced this monster to publicly explain why he chose to steal these innocent souls. May God bless and watch over everyone affected by this unimaginable tragedy, especially the parents who lost their children. Let me begin with a few scheduling items off the top. Later this afternoon, President Trump will deliver the keynote address at the Winning the AI Race Summit here in Washington, D.C. President Trump believes it is non-negotiable that the United States wins the AI race, which is why today, President Trump will announce a bold and comprehensive AI action plan to sustain and enhance America's global AI dominance. Under President Trump's leadership, our country will lead the world in AI to secure a brighter future for all Americans, massively grow our economy, and protect our national security. The president will also sign 3 executive orders at the event this afternoon. On Friday morning, President Trump will travel to Scotland for a working visit that will include a bilateral meeting with Prime Minister Starmer to refine the historic US-UK trade deal. On the topic of trade, yesterday, President Trump accomplished something no other president has ever achieved. The president secured and announced 3 major trade deals with the Philippines, Indonesia, and Japan, all in one day. President Trump is finally putting a stop to our country getting ripped off. As a result of the president's successful negotiating tactics, many foreign markets are now being opened to American industries for the very first time, and harmful trade barriers are being broken down. Thanks to President Trump, these countries around the world are agreeing to open their markets to American-made products and goods for the first time, which will lead to a boom in sales and profits for American businesses right here at home. As President Trump said, he will only lower tariff rates if a country agrees to open their market to American-made products. If not, they will continue to face tariffs and pay a steep price to do business in the United States of America, which remains the best market on the face of the planet. Also this week, the president officially marked 6 months here at the White House. He made big promises to the American people on the campaign trail last year, and he has unquestionably delivered on those promises in record time. The president has defeated the Biden inflation crisis to make America affordable again. Core inflation is currently at its lowest level in 4 years, and prices for everyday goods are falling. The president's pro-growth policies have fueled massive job growth across our country. Since the president has taken office, our economy has added nearly 700,000 new jobs, with native-born American workers accounting for all job gains. The president has put the economic needs of families and of workers first. He signed the largest tax cuts for the middle class in American history, including no tax on tips, overtime, and Social Security. We have also seen the president unquestionably deliver on his promise to secure our southern border. He has ended Biden's illegal alien invasion, and for 2 months in a row, 0 illegal aliens were released into our country. The president has also, as you all know, initiated the largest mass deportation campaign in American history. The president has also restored law and order to make America safe again, another campaign promise he vowed to the American public. The United States of America is currently on track for its lowest murder rate on record, following this shift from the last administration to the Trump administration. The president has also ended Joe Biden's reckless war on American energy. U.S. oil and natural gas production are now surging, and summer gas prices reached their lowest level since 2021. The president has also rebuilt our military, another campaign promise. He just signed the largest military investment in decades to modernize our armed forces with cutting-edge technology to replenish our stockpiles and provide American troops with the best equipment in the world. The U.S. Army, Navy, Air Force, and Space Force have all reached their recruitment goals months in advance. The president has restored America's standing on the world stage, brought back peace through strength, and brokered numerous peace agreements to end wars. Again, all of this in just 6 months. He obliterated Iran's nuclear program to end the war between Israel and Iran, got NATO members to raise their defense spending to 5% of GDP, and secured a ceasefire between India and Pakistan, as well as brokering a historic agreement between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The president has already received 3 different Nobel Peace Prize nominations for his peacemaking efforts. Again, all of this progress, all of these accomplishments have occurred in just 6 months. We are truly just getting started, and we look forward to working with all of you for the next 3.5 years. On another matter, over the past few days, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has unveiled shocking new evidence that former President Barack Obama and top aides in the Obama administration conspired to subvert President Trump's 2016 election victory and undermine the democratic will of the American people. While publicly pretending to engage in a peaceful transfer of power, in private, former President Obama went to great and nefarious lengths to try to sow discord among the public and sabotage his successor, President Trump. The new evidence released by the Director of National Intelligence, who is here with me today, confirms that the Obama administration manufactured politicized intelligence, which was later used as the justification for baseless smears against President Trump in an effort to try to delegitimize his victory before he even took the oath of office. The truth is that President Trump never had anything to do with Russia, and the Russia collusion hoax was a massive fraud perpetuated on the American people from the very beginning. And the worst part of this is Obama knew that truth, and so did all of the other corrupt officials involved in this scam, including former CIA Director John Brennan, former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, former FBI Director James Comey, former Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, and many others. Director of National Intelligence Gabbard's report further confirms what we already knew. There was no collusion, no corruption, except on the part of Barack Obama and the weaponized intelligence agencies at the time. The Russia hoax was a blatant lie, all ginned up by Democrat political operatives that were signed off on by then President Obama and leaked to the news media to launch a years-long witch hunt against President Trump and his first administration. Allies of the president, including his own son, Donald Trump Jr., were disgustingly smeared as Russian assets, and some even had their lives destroyed because of this vicious lie. The president's first 2 years in office had this fake distraction hanging over it, and endless resources, time, and political capital were spent having to debunk these lies from the highest levels of our government. Now, nearly 10 years later, thanks to the declassification of documents by Director Gabbard, the truth has finally come to light. And this truth vindicates President Trump, his family, and his many allies and associates who were smeared with defamatory lies. President Trump was right from the beginning about all of this, and we are grateful that justice can be served. Now, we have even more damning evidence implicating those who tried to sabotage a duly elected president and did grave material harm to our republic. Thanks to additional important work done by CIA Director Ratcliffe, Committee Chairman Rick Crawford over the past few months, a newly declassified 2020 report prepared by the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, which DNI Director Gabbard has declassified, found that the intel community did not have any direct information that Russian President Vladimir Putin wanted to help elect President Trump in 2016, and in fact, Russia was actively preparing for a Hillary Clinton victory. But at the unusual direction of Barack Obama at the time, the intel community published implausible intelligence suggesting otherwise. Why? To sabotage the incoming president. This is truly one of the greatest political scandals in American history. And reporters at legacy outlets, some of which are sitting in this room today, like the New York Times and the Washington Post, were ridiculously awarded Pulitzer Prizes for their perpetuation of this hoax. It's well past time for those awards to be stripped from the journalists who receive them. It is not journalism to propagate political disinformation in service of the Democrat Party and those in the intelligence community who hand over out of context and fake intelligence to push a false political narrative. I will now pass it over to the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, to speak more about all of this, and then we will open it up for questions afterwards. Tulsi, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. At President Trump's direction and with the support and coordination with the House Intelligence Committee Chairman Rick Crawford, today we've released a declassified Oversight Majority Staff report that was produced in September of 2020. The stunning revelations that we are releasing today should be of concern to every American. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. This has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic and American voters having faith that the votes cast will count. There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't. The report that we released today shows in great detail how they carried this out. They manufactured findings from shoddy sources. They suppressed evidence and credible intelligence that disproved their false claims. They disobeyed traditional tradecraft intelligence community standards and withheld the truth from the American people. In doing so, they conspired to subvert the will of the American people who elected Donald Trump in that election in November of 2016. They worked with their partners in the media to promote this lie, ultimately to undermine the legitimacy of President Trump and launching what would be a years-long coup against him and his administration. We're here today because the American people deserve the truth, they deserve accountability, and they deserve justice. The records that we released on Friday that were ODNI records, Senator Chuck Grassley's release on Monday of what is known as the Clinton Annex, which was an appendix to the Department of Justice Office of Inspector General's 2018 report, as well as the House Intelligence Committee's majority oversight report that we're releasing today, all come back to and confirm the same report. There was a gross politicization and manipulation of intelligence by the Obama administration intended to delegitimize President Trump even before he was inaugurated, ultimately usurping the will of the American people. I'm going to go over the key findings from the House Intelligence report, which investigated the claims that were made by an intelligence community assessment ordered by President Obama and published in January of 2017. First, Putin's principal interests relating to the 2016 election were to undermine faith in the U.S. democratic process, not show any preference of a certain candidate. In fact, this report shows Putin held back from leaking compromising material on Hillary Clinton prior to the election, instead planning to release it after the election to weaken what Moscow viewed as an inevitable Clinton presidency. In the January 2017 intelligence community assessment that President Obama ordered, John Brennan, who was CIA director at the time, and the intelligence community intentionally suppressed intelligence that showed Putin was saving the most damaging material that he had in his possession about Hillary Clinton until after her potential and likely victory. The report goes into great detail about the information that Russia and Putin had on Hillary Clinton, which included possible criminal acts like secret meetings with multiple named U.S. religious organizations in which State Department officials offered, in exchange for supporting Secretary Clinton's campaign for the presidency, significant increases in financing from the State Department. They also had documents that showed the patronage of the State Department to State Department employees who would go and support Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. There were high-level DNC emails that detailed evidence of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers. Then CIA Director Brennan and the intelligence community mischaracterized intelligence and relied on dubious substandard sources to create a contrived false narrative that Putin developed a quote-unquote clear preference for Trump. Brennan and the IC misled lawmakers by referencing the debunked Steele dossier to assess quote-unquote Russia's plans and intentions, falsely suggesting that this dossier had intelligence value when he knew that it was discredited. The intelligence community excluded significant intelligence and ignored or selectively quoted reliable intelligence that contradicted the intelligence community assessment's key findings on Putin's alleged support for Trump. Including this intelligence reporting would have exposed the ICA's claim as implausible, if not ridiculous. The intelligence community assessment omitted reliably sourced information, such as how some Russian intelligence officials were quote-unquote planning for candidate Hillary Clinton's victory, while others assessed neither Trump nor Clinton would respect Russia's interests. As was reflected in the ODNI documents that we released on Friday, multiple intelligence community assessments released in the months leading up to the November 2016 election concluded that Russia had neither the intent nor capability to impact the outcome of the U.S. election. On December 5th of 2016, the FBI and ODNI gave the House Intelligence Committee its first post-election classified briefing, in which there was no mention of Putin aspiring to elect Trump by either agency. The Presidential Daily Brief, drafted on December 8th of 2016, stated that no Russian or criminal actors impacted vote counts. This document was pulled just hours before it was to be published due to quote-unquote new guidance. If it had been published, it would have been briefed to both President Obama and President-elect Donald Trump. On December 9th, 2016, a National Security Council meeting was called to gather President Obama's senior national security officials, which included CIA Director Brennan, then Obama DNI James Clapper, Susan Rice, and others. Following that secret meeting, DNI Clapper's assistant sent an email to the intelligence community with the subject line, POTUS tasking on Russia election meddling, tasking ODNI leaders to create a new assessment per the president's request. The House Intelligence Committee Oversight Report that we released today reveals that, quote, unlike routine intelligence community analysis, the intelligence community assessment was a high-profile product ordered by the President Obama. It directed senior intelligence community agency heads and created an intelligence community assessment limited to just 5 analysts using one principal drafter. This is not something that occurs in the normal path of producing an intelligence community assessment that reflects the views across the intelligence community. The production of this intelligence community assessment was subject to unusual directives directly from the president and senior political appointees, especially the former director of the CIA, John Brennan. The House Intelligence Committee Oversight Report also shows how later that same day, on December 9th, Brennan ordered the publication of quote-unquote substandard reporting on Russian activities, which had previously been withheld from publication of prior assessments because the information was judged, quote, to have not met long-standing publication standards. Some of the information later used in the Obama-ordered assessment over the objections of veteran CIA officers was quote unquote unclear or from unknown sources. The Intelligence Committee's oversight report reveals that CIA Director Brennan overruled senior CIA officers who challenged the Obama-ordered intelligence assessment, stating, quote, "We don't have direct information that Putin wanted to get Trump elected." Yet, the Obama-directed assessment was published on January 6, 2017, which explicitly stated, quote, "We assess Putin and the Russian government aspired to help President-elect Trump's election chances, when possible, by discrediting Secretary Clinton and publicly contrasting her unfavorably to him." End of quote. The CIA and FBI, then led by John Brennan and James Comey, expressed high confidence in this judgment, while the NSA expressed moderate confidence. Yet, as the report we released today shows, the ICA, the Intelligence Community Assessment, did not cite any report where Putin indicated helping Trump win was an objective. The opposite is true. With regards to the Steele dossier, we now know that one of the source documents that the Obama administration used in the creation of this intelligence assessment in January of 2017 was none other than the discredited, unverified Steele dossier. The House Intel report states, quote, "Contradicting public claims by then CIA Director Brennan that the dossier was not in any way incorporated into this intelligence assessment. The dossier was referenced in the intelligence assessment's main body text and further detailed in a 2-page assessment annex." John Brennan lied, and he denied using this dossier in this intelligence assessment that President Obama ordered because he knew it was discredited. It was a politically motivated, manufactured document. He directed senior CIA officials to use it anyway. CIA officer told the House Intelligence Committee staff as they investigated this, quote, "The director of the CIA, John Brennan, refused to remove it, and when confronted with the dossier's many flaws, responded, quote, 'Yes, but doesn't it ring true?'" Even the bipartisan Senate Select Committee on Intelligence report published in 2020 criticized the FBI's handling of the Steele dossier, noting its completely unverified nature and purposeful sidestepping of intelligence community procedures in its use. Now, President Obama, Hillary Clinton, John Brennan, James Clapper, James Comey, and others, including their mouthpieces in the media, knowingly lied as they repeated the contrived narrative that was created in this January 2017 intelligence community assessment with high confidence as though it were fact. John Brennan, as CIA director, stated in a memo to his agency staff in December of 2016, saying, quote, "There is strong consensus among us on the scope, nature, and intent of Russian interference in our presidential election." This was reported by NBC News, confirming that Brennan, along with James Clapper and James Comey, agreed with the CIA's assessment that Russia intervened to help Trump win the presidency. As Obama's Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper was tasked with overseeing the creation of this assessment in January of 2017 by President Obama, and he expressed confidence in its findings. In a 2018 interview with the Harvard Gazette, he talked about how he provided Trump with the same classified assessment that President Obama received, which included the high confidence judgment that Putin directly ordered the hacking and election interference. Clapper then went on to add, "I think they, the Russians, actually influenced the outcome." This is a brief summary of the details that you'll find within the House Majority Staff's report in their investigation into the Obama-directed January 2017 Intelligence Community Assessment. That leads us to the very same conclusion that we announced in the release of our documents on Friday. The implications of this are far-reaching and have to do with the integrity of our democratic republic. It has to do with an outgoing president taking action to manufacture intelligence, to undermine and usurp the will of the American people in that election, and launch what would be a years-long coup against the incoming President of the United States, Donald Trump. Thank you.
Well, Thank you, Tulsi. And we do want to take questions on this topic while the director has time for this topic. She will leave. I'm happy to take questions on other matters after that. But if anyone has questions for Director Gabbard, you're welcome to ask them. We'll start with our new media seat as always. Emily, go ahead.
Thank you. And Director Gabbard, this one is for you. Do you believe that any of this new information implicates former President Obama in criminal behavior?
We have referred and will continue to refer all of these documents to the Department of Justice and the FBI to investigate the criminal implications of this.
For even former President Obama?
Correct. The evidence that we have found and that we have released directly point to President Obama leading the manufacturing of this intelligence assessment. There are multiple pieces of evidence and intelligence that confirm that fact.
Ed, go ahead.
Director Gabbard, thank you. So just two questions, but to begin on that. The President yesterday, you've inferred that the former President helped lead a coup. Based on what you now see, do you believe President Obama is guilty of treason?
I'm leaving the criminal charges to the Department of Justice. I am not an attorney, but as I've said previously, when you look at the intent behind creating a fake manufactured intelligence document that directly contradicts multiple assessments that were created by the intelligence community, the expressed intent and what followed afterward can only be described as a years-long coup and a treasonous conspiracy against the American people, our republic, and an attempt to undermine President Trump's administration.
The Senate Intelligence Committee spent several years looking into this and unanimously agreed in a bipartisan fashion, Secretary of State Rubio was a member of that committee, that there was no political interference. There was a years-long Justice Department investigation into this as well that also concluded no political interference. So help us from a 50,000-foot level explain, what do you now have that refutes those two?
Sure. I will encourage you, in my role as the Director of National Intelligence, my job, again, as I said when I came into this role, was to make sure that we are telling the truth to the American people and that we are ensuring that the intelligence community is not being politicized. So I'm not asking you to take my word for it. I'm asking you in the media to conduct honest journalism and the American people to see for yourself in the documents that we've released now, close to 200 pages, that point in multiple references, multiple examples, to include comments that have been made by senior intelligence professionals, who are some still working within these agencies today, that confirm the conclusions that we have drawn, that President Obama directed an intelligence community assessment to be created to further this contrived false narrative that ultimately led to a years-long coup to try to undermine President Trump's presidency.
And it's your belief that those two previous investigations missed that or covered it up?
I'm telling you to look at the evidence. Look at the evidence and you will know the truth.
John.
Thanks, Caroline. Thanks, Director Gabbard. You declassified these documents, if I'm not mistaken, Friday of last week, correct?
We released them on Friday of last week, the first tranche, yes.
This isn't the first time that President Trump has been president of the United States. He was president from 2017 to 2021. Couldn't the prior DNI under President Trump have declassified these documents? And why didn't that DNI do that at that time?
I can't speak to what happened there. There were several